This is a rap about the amendment that is assigned following the Bill of Rights. I'm gonna sing to you about the amendment that gives voting rights to DC peeps. It's the 23rd Amendment that gives the right to vote in the presidential election to citizens of Washington, D.C. 23rd Amendment provides citizens the right to vote for president and vice president, but still do not have the right to vote for members of the House of Representatives or Senate to Congress. This issue has been a concern in amendments regarding the right to vote for members of Congress has been introduced but was not able to obtain the necessary ratification of the required states. The Congress did allow for a member of House of Representatives from the District of Columbia to be included, but does not have the power of voting. The representative given the power of voting is elected by the residents of Washington, D.C. Before this amendment was ratified in 1961, citizens were not granted the right to vote on the basis that the capital is not considered a state. Now, it gives rights to residents currently right now in Washington, D.C. of the U.S. Accordingly, you wouldn't be able to vote without the 23rd Amendment for Mr. P and VP, giving district citizens some rights and agreed that we need some democracy. Article 1 of the U.S. Constitution states that power was granted to Congress to accept land from the states for creating the seat of government. D.C. was founded with provision as that the states, Maryland and Virginia, would provide the land. Washington, D.C. would be controlled by Congress. D.C. citizens would be able to use the amendment to vote starting in the presidential election 1964. D.C. wouldn't have a number of electors that reflect the numbers of electors in the least populated state of the U.S. The state would appoint electors and be considered as electors appointed by the state. The electors have to observe and follow new changes in the 12th Amendment. Right now, the state with the least population number of peeps is Wyoming. The number of electors would be 3 despite the clause because of D.C.'s current population. The District of Columbia couldn't vote until 1961's presidential elections. Citizens had the right to vote for a mayor and city council in the 1820s. Officials were directly appointed by the president until 1874, when Congress had control over the city's government, except in 1871 and 1874. They're granting district electors in the Electoral College as if it were a state. Now let's take the time to ask ourselves a question. The 23rd Amendment provides representation of Washington, D.C. in A. the Senate, B. the House of Representatives, C. the Electoral College, or D. the Cabinet. You're right. The answer is C. the Electoral College. Peace.